Toprak Razgatlioglu is reportedly set to make his debut test earlier at the Aragon circuit next week. Fabio Quartararo has confirmed that he will look elsewhere if Yamaha doesn't improve next year. Before that, don't forget to click like and subscribe, and here's the full news. Augusto Fernandez will make his second wildcard appearance on a Yamaha V4 bike at this week's Malaysian MotoGP. Meanwhile, Toprak Razgatlioglu will also be present at the following week's test at Aragon. Yamaha MotoGP test rider Augusto Fernandez will compete at this weekend's Malaysian Grand Prix with the aim of progressing the new V4 engine project. Fabio Quartararo's continued pressure on Yamaha to make progress in the development of its new V4-powered bike has led the Japanese manufacturer's engineers to include Fernandez in the Malaysian event. The Spanish rider was initially not included in the entry list for the Sepang weekend, but will now take part under the Yamaha Factory Racing Team banner. The test team is led by veteran rider Silvano Galbuzera. As part of the development program for the new V4-powered bike, Yamaha has planned a private test at Motorland Aragon on November 9th to 10th, before the official test in Valencia on November 18th. The two-day test will allow Fernandez to test the four V4-powered M1 bikes that will be used by Quartararo, Alex Rins, Jack Miller, and new rider for next season, Toprak Razgatlioglu, at the Valencia test. This test will also provide an opportunity for Razgatlioglu, a three-time WSBK champion, to test a MotoGP bike for the first time before participating in the Valencia test with the other riders. Toprak Razgatlioglu believes his MotoGP career will be difficult. However, the 2025 World SBK World Champion refuses to give up, as he doesn't want the level of World SBK competition to be underestimated. For me, 2026 will be the most difficult year, because MotoGP is very different from World SBK. I could finish in the top 10, maybe even in the top 15. In fact, I see 2026 as an apprenticeship year to learn, get acquainted, and develop without expectations, said Toprak Razgatlioglu with a smile. Toprak Razgatlioglu's arrival in MotoGP certainly brings high expectations, as his natural talent on a motorcycle has been recognized by MotoGP riders themselves. For this reason, he believes the level of World SBK will be underestimated if he fails to compete in MotoGP. I know that if I don't perform well in MotoGP, everyone will look down on World SBK. However, at the same time, I think MotoGP riders will also have a hard time racing in World SBK without Ducati. That's my perspective, said Toprak in an interview with gpone.com. Razgatlioglu also believes that his adjustment to MotoGP will be much more challenging. Besides adapting to a very different bike, he also has to adapt to the new faces in the Grand Prix paddock. Here in the Superbike paddock, I know everyone, and in the other paddock everything will be different. However, we will only know the truth when the time comes. So, we'll see, said Turkish rider Toprak Razgatlioglu. On the other hand, so far, Fernandez's wildcard entry at Sepang has not changed plans for the next test at Aragon. Yamaha is trying to move forward with the development of a completely new bike that will help it make significant strides in convincing Quartararo, whose contract expires at the end of next year. Quartararo has made it clear that he will look elsewhere on the grid if the Japanese team doesn't improve next year. In addition to Fernandez, Michel Pirot, Pol Espargaro, and Lorenzo Savadori will also return for the 2025 Malaysian MotoGP as replacements for Marc Marquez, Maverick Vinales, and Jorge Martin, respectively. Yamaha currently sits last in the manufacturer's standings, 43 points behind local rivals Honda. So far, Yamaha has only achieved one podium finish on a Sunday in 2025, when Quartararo finished second at the Spanish GP.